Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manoabhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Yadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathantam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakanvitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhani Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Titanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prashanatma Prabhu, for doing the Mangalacharan so nicely. Hare Krishna Mataji, Radhika Mataji, Danvat Pranam. Please accept our humble obeisances on behalf of everybody who have joined the group and are about to join. Mataji, we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam and we are on Canto 2, Chapter 9, which is the answers by citing the Lord's version. And today we are on text 23. I'm really grateful for your association. We always enjoy your class so much. Thank you, Mataji, for giving your time. And I'm handing over to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Let's get started here, please. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, dear devotees, so today we are on the 23rd verse of second canto, 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. And we'll do a quick recap before we get started to the words for today. And today I might have to end the class a little early, if that's okay with you. It's just that too many outstanding deliverables that I need to take care of with my office work. So kindly bear with me, dear devotees. All right. So let's look into the verse. As far as the first three verses go, we understand it is the answer to the first question about Jiva having a material body. The question was asked in 2.8.7. And what is the answer for that? It is given that due to Maya, the soul feels the connection with the body and suffers from the concept of ahamameti. Okay? And when it becomes free from misconceptions, when does it become free from misconceptions? It becomes free from these misconceptions of ahamameti only when it's in touch with the Lord through bhakti. That is the process. That is what the second verse clarifies. Now, but when he gets in touch with the Lord, who's beyond time and Maya through bhakti, he becomes free from the misconceptions of I and mine, which is the third verse. So we understand through the first three verses that what is the reason for the soul to have that misconception? It is due to Maya. And because of this, what is happening? It is suffering from the concept of aham mameti. And then, afflicted by Maya, the jiva appears in so many forms. While enjoying the gunas, the jiva thinks in terms of I and mine. Now, we are going to fourth verse. Fourth to eighth verse talks about setting the platform for Lord Brahma, Brahma and the Lord's conversation. Now, the fourth verse is saying that the Lord presented his external transcendental form before Brahma due to his performance of non-deceptive penance in Bhakti Yoga. Now, Brahma, he is the first spiritual master. He was seated on the lotus seat, and he could neither trace the source of the lotus, nor he could understand how to carry out creation. This was what the position of Brahma was. And now, at that time, what happened? Brahma heard the word tapa, 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 which is the wealth of the renunciants. Being able to find the speaker, he thought it is wise to follow the instruction and execute the penance. He underwent the penances and for 1000 celestial years by concentrating his mind and controlling his prana and senses. All right, dear devotees. And now, Lord Brahma's darshan of Vaikuntha. After this, what happened? The Lord showed Vaikuntha to him. And then we understand Vaikuntha is the supreme planet. It is adored by the self-realized persons. And it is free from what? It is free from, this place is free from suffering. It is free from offenses. It is free from the influence of modes. It's free from time and Maya. Imagine how this place would be. It's just opposite to the material world, which is the concept of time. Because of time, we have the gunas, the modes are agitated, the modes are there. Now, because of the modes, we are going through suffering, we are committing offenses, whatnot, right? So it's just opposite to what we see in the material world. That's free from suffering, confusion, offenses, modes, time, and Maya. Therefore, the Lord is worshipped by Devas, Asuras, and Bhaktas. Now, inhabitants of Vaikuntha, how are they? What do they look like? They are glowing in sky bluish complexion and lotus eyes. They have the lotus kind of eyes, and they are dressed in yellow garments. They are youthful. They are effulgent, and they are having a very pleasant demeanor. Four-handed and decorated with shining earrings, crowns, and garlands, dear devotees. This is how the residents of Vaikuntha look. It's Sarupya. They resemble the Lord's form. Now, the site of the Vaikuntha planet with its inhabitants, what happens there is the site of the Vaikuntha planet with its inhabitants traveling with their concerts in shining aeroplanes resembles the sky filled with clouds and flashing lighting. So Mother Lakshmi is engaged sometimes in serving Lord's lotus feet, and other times she is engaged in singing Lord's glories. This is what is happening with them. The Lord of the devotees, Lakshmi, sacrifices, and the universe is seen by being served by his followers such as Sunanda, Nanda, Prabala, and Arhana. Now, the 16th verse, the beauty of the Lord is described. So we saw the site of the Vaikuntha planet where there is a celestial abode, and the aeroplanes in the sky resembles the aeroplanes in the sky is filled with the clouds and flashing lightning. Now, Mother Lakshmi, we know she is engaged in serving the lotus feet of the Lord. At other points in time, she is always singing the glories of the Lord's lotus feet. So either way, she is always engaged in service of the Lord. After this, we also talk about Lord's chief's followers, who are all who are they? They are Sunanda, Nanda, Prabala, and Arhana. All right. And now we are going to talk about the beauty of the Lord in the 16th verse. How is the beauty of the Lord? The satisfied Lord is favorable towards his servitors, and his very sight is intoxicating and attracting. With a smiling face, reddish eyes, yellow garments, earrings, shining crown, four hands, and the mark of the Srivatsa, the Lord is seen. Now, when you look at the energies of the Lord, we have Prakriti, Purusha, Mahatattva, and Ego. And then there are we all know the 5 elements, the 10 sense organs, and the mind that constitute the 16. And then there are 5 tanmatras. And then 6 natural opulences and other insignificant energies, they are ashtasiddhis. This is what the Lord's energy is composed of. So the first 4 are the Prakriti, Purusha, Mahatattva, and Ego. And then we see the 16 classification. After that, the 5 Tanmatras. And then we have other insignificant energies that are the Ashtasiddhis, which is usually what the impersonalists have, right? So that is what it is. These are all the energies of the Lord. And now, ecstasy. Thus seeing, Lord Brahma was overwhelmed with joy. In great ecstasy with tears, he bowed down before the Lord. You're able to understand so far. And now, being pleased, the Lord invites Brahma to ask for benedictions. Come on, Brahma, now that you've seen me, you're seen in tears. Now is the time for benediction. Whenever Lord sees devotion in devotee's heart, he's always ready to benedict that devotee. That's how the mercy flows. The Lord is this relationship that we are talking about is a genuine relationship. There's no hide and seek here, right? You can't hide anything from the Lord, and the heart of yours is so transparent. The Lord will be able to see it. Whatever kachada we have in our heart, He'll be able to see that too. So it's very important to clean our heart. However good we may look externally, internally, Lord is able to see us. And that's why cleansing is necessary through the form of bhakti and other services. Now, Lord Brahma accepted Brahma as worthy of following his command for creating the universe, and being pleased with him, he shook his hand and spoke. What did he speak? I'm very much satisfied with your long penance in order to carry out the creation. I'm hardly satisfied with the pseudo mystics. See, I'm very satisfied with the penance you did, Lord Brahma, because that was coupled with devotion. There was no offense, right? So he was very pleased. And then he says, no, I'm hardly satisfied with these pseudo mystics because they have a inner ulterior motive. And again, we don't know if they are respecting the lotus feet of the Lord too. So that's another question that always comes in. Now he's telling, please ask for a benediction from me, the giver of benedictions. But you may know that the ultimate benediction of all the penances is to see me. That's all the Lord is telling in the 21st verse. Now, this darshana of my abode is the highest perfection. This has been possible because of your severe penance. Know that it was I who spoke tapa tapa when you were perplexed in your duty. So this is what he said. So dear devotees, so it's a beautiful verse, right? When Lord is asking Brahma to ask for benedictions. Now, so we will see quite a few things as a recap and then go, okay? So now we all know Lord Brahma, he has the great responsibility delivering the conditioned souls, and therefore he's very dear to the Lord, right? Brahma also does his duty very perfectly, not only by generating the living entities, but also spreading his party and then reclaiming the fallen souls. Because this party that we are talking about is Brahma Sampradaya. And any member of this party today is naturally engaged in reclaiming the fallen souls, going back to Godhead, going back home. So the Lord is very, very anxious to get his parts and parcels, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. No one is more dear. The one who takes the task of reclaiming the fallen souls to the Godhead, no one is more dear than him. That is what Lord says. There are, again, very important is such persons are very, very dear to the Lord, and Lord sends them to the Lord sends them. Lord sends them as messengers. Yes, spread the glory of my name, spread the glories of Mahamantra, and bring the fallen souls back to Godhead. That is how we have our spiritual masters. We're all messengers of God. So preaching mission of the Lord is what Brahma Sampradaya is for. And those who preach Lord's message are always dear to the Lord. And the Lord is satisfied with the preacher of this authorized bhakti cult. Meaning, it's not some sampradaya which is broken. He's shaking hands with him because he's coming through the disciplic succession, dear devotees. Hope you're all able to understand this point. Now, the translation says of Srimad Bhagavatam 19th verse, it says, seeing Brahma present before him, the Lord accepted him as worthy to create living beings to be controlled as he desired, and thus being satisfied with him, Lord shook hands with Brahma and slightly smiling addressed him thus. He said, the creation of this material world is not blind or accidental. The living entities who are ever conditioned or Nityabadha are given a chance for liberation under the guidance of his own representative like Brahma. The Lord instructs Brahma in Vedic knowledge in order to diffuse this knowledge to the conditioned souls. And the conditioned souls, they are forgetful of their relationship with the Lord, and thus a period of creation and period of destruction of Vedic knowledge are necessary for the activities of the Lord. And Brahma, he is given this responsibility for delivering these conditioned souls, and therefore he is very, very dear to the Lord. Now, what about Brahma? He does his duty very, very perfectly. We all saw that, right? Very perfectly following, and he comes from the disciplic succession of, he is the one who started on the Brahma. He started this party called the Brahma Sampradaya. And again, the point in that verse is that anyone who preaches the message of the Lord brings great satisfaction to the Lord. And for one, in Bhagavad Gita 18.68, it is mentioned, for one who explains the supreme secret to devotees, that is the pure devotional service, is guaranteed. And at the end, Lord says, he will come back to me. In the 69th verse of the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is said, there is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there be anyone who is more dear. And then the 71st verse says, anyone who listens with faith without becoming envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. So he also says in the 72nd verse of Bhagavad Gita, O conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with attentive mind? And are your ignorance and illusions now dispelled? Right? And for that, Arjuna is responding to say, yes, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy, Lord. I am now firm and free from doubt. I am prepared to act according to your instructions. So now, why we are talking about this? Because Bhagavad Gita 18.5 talks about acts of sacrifice, charity, penance. They are not to be given up. They have to be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. If you look at Madhya Kanta 8.60, it says, Ramananda Rai, he continued to say, my dear son of Kunti, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer in sacrifice, whatever you give in charity, whatever austerities you perform, all the results of the activities should be offered on to me, says Lord Krishna. So, dear devotees, it is very important to even say, for example, we are all doing our work, right? Work, everyday work, material duty. But this has to be coupled with the intention that I offer this to Lord. That is what is karmarpana. Whatever you do, you offer it to the Lord. And the results are not ours. It's just the mercy of the Lord. The results come to us. And that is why we do not expect, be it this or be it that, it's fine, Lord. I accept your decision and go with the flow. When we offer everything to God, it becomes karmarpana. It becomes devotion. But again, it's not pure devotion. We should not confuse that with the term pure devotion. That is important. So the Lord has said that Varnashrama Dharma is not properly executed in this age of Kali. Therefore, he ordered Ramananda Rai to go further in this matter. And Ramananda replied from Bhagavad Gita, which instructs, while remaining in the system of Varnashrama, one may offer the results of the activities to Lord Krishna in loving service. Naturally, we all know Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asking Ramananda Rai about execution of devotional service. Ramananda Rai first enunciated the principle of Varnashrama Dharma in consideration of the materialistic people. Because the materialistic people are not yet transcendental. So what do? They are doing their work. So all they have to do is offer it to the Lord. Right? As long as one in the material world, he has to follow Varnashrama Dharma, but devotional service is transcendental, Prabhupada says. The system of Varnashrama Dharma refers to the three modes of material nature, but transcendental devotional service is on the absolute platform. So through Varnashrama Dharma, one can alleviate to the mode in goodness. But in the devotional, if you are doing pure devotional service, it's in the absolute platform. It's not even corrupted by any kind of modes. And then he says all these activities should be performed without attachment and expectation for result. When we don't have this expectation of result, dear devotees, what happens is we will be able to do our job much better. When we expect, yes, I have to do this, I have to act in a certain way, I have to perform in a certain way. And if the results are not in favor of what you have thought, you may go down in consciousness. You may become angry because you didn't get what you wanted. So when ultimately it's also going to take care of your physical health when you don't expect results. Not only your mental health, of course, your mental health will be really stimulated if you do not expect results. But on the other hand, even your physical health is taken care of. This is the point, because physical health is something that you can see and feel. Of course, mental health is more so connected to emotions. So, dear devotees, it's over and over these chapters in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, or any other Chaitanya Chaitamrita, everything is teaching us, okay, come to goodness and then you can progress. If you can do just devotional service, just do devotional service. And then at some point come to the stage of pure devotion. Because pure devotion is not something that we can get. It's just coming through the mercy of our spiritual master, as I told you. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. It's not easy, dear devotees. But that's the goal. Now, if you look at this verse, 23rd verse, he talks about, it brings up several points, right? The penance by which one can see the personality of Godhead face to face is understood as devotional service to the Lord. And nothing else, because only discharging devotional service in a transcendental way can one approach the Lord. Right? The penance of devotional service includes knowledge and detachment. And it's the manifestation of the transcendental potency of the Lord. If one has the desire to go back to Godhead, then he cannot enjoy material and illusory. He cannot keep enjoying this material prosperity and be stuck in illusion. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it said, if someone sincerely wants to see the Lord and at the same time wants to enjoy the material world, he is considered a fool. This foolish devotee of the Lord is put into forcible penance by the grace of the Lord, and at the end, because of the penance that he performs, he becomes very happy. Because why? He's engaged in the devotional service. Penance in devotional service, either by voluntary submission or by being forced by the Lord, is necessary for attaining perfection. And thus, the penance is the internal potency of the Lord, dear devotees. And again, Brahmaji here in this case, he was sinless. Therefore, he faithfully discharged the advice of the Lord. Because, see, I can hear tapa tapa and what will I do? Something, I should just not get distracted. Maybe I just have to come to the present. This is what may be my reaction. But because Brahmaji was sinless, he was able to follow the advice of the Lord. And because of this, there was great result. The great result was awarded to him. And love and penance combined with the ability to please the Lord, because of this, one is able to obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. And the sinless devotees are the ones who attain the highest perfection of life. Why? Because if a devotee is sinless, then he's not going to be doing offenses, isn't it? When we are covered with sins, we either tend to do more sins or maybe realize, oh my God, I'm actually coming down in the process of devotional service. So let me not do sins and probably consciously take measures to take care of doing sins. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he trod Brahma and made him self-realized. As we all know, when Brahma was initiated by Krishna by the sound vibration of tapa, he engaged himself in the acts of austerities, and by the pleasure of Vishnu, he was able to visualize this world of Vaikuntha through his transcendental realization. And we all know, as far as the sense enjoyment goes, we should refrain from that. And we should voluntarily accept if any kind of if difficulty comes, then we should tolerate it. This is called tapasya. For the sake of what? Spiritual realization. And if you look at modern science, they can communicate using material discoveries such as radio, television, computers. But the science invoked by the austerities of Sri Brahma, the original father of mankind, was still more subtle. Material scientists may also know how we can communicate with Vaikuntha world. Transcendental knowledge of Krishna is deeper than the impersonal knowledge of Brahman, for it includes the knowledge not only of his form and personality, but everything else related to him. There is nothing in existence not related to Krishna. In a sense, there is nothing but Sri Krishna, and yet nothing is Sri Krishna and except his primeval personality. So, dear devotees, so we are seeing so many things here, right? The sins are the ones that are keeping us in this world. If you look at sins, what are sins? Intoxication, gambling, illicit sex, meat eating. So the motto of life should be to become sinless. Meaning, just come to a platform to understand that if you don't have sins, then the mercy of the Lord and your spiritual master will come soon. And we'll be able to execute their instructions with more attention, more devotion, because we don't have that mind which manipulates things. If you're sinless, your mind is completely pure, isn't it? So this is the point. And as far as the purport goes, there are a lot of points that is being talked about. If you look at Adi Kanta 1.51, it is said that transcendental knowledge of Krishna is deeper than the impersonal knowledge of Brahman, for it includes knowledge not only of his form and personality, but everything else related to him. This was the point we spoke about, right? Hearing, chanting, remembering, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, worshipping, praying, assisting, sacrificing everything for him. These are all parts of devotional service. The Lord said to Brahma that since he was pleased with him, by his grace, the mystery was revealed to him. This is the point. So, dear devotees, some of the most important things that we read or realize from these verses is how, when you do the acts of devotion, Lord is pleased. He's reciprocating. Ye tamam prapatyanti tams tataiva bhajamyaham. He's reciprocating according to the way a devotee responds or reacts. This is very, very important. So let's all pray that we also strive our best to please our Lord, our spiritual master, devotees in all possible ways. This way, we will not only perform our materialistic duties by doing karmarpanam, but also a stage will come where we would understand what is the highest swadharma, which is performing loving devotional service to Lord Krishna. The day should come where we are engaged in the activities of the Lord 24/7 and nothing but doing just that activity. That is what Srimad Bhagavatam ultimately comes to. Okay, see, we have Lord's energies, Lord's forms, Lord's activities. Then how Lord gives mercy when you do the service. So these are the concepts that are spoken again and again. There is sadhana bhakti, and then when the sadhana bhakti matures, it becomes it blossoms into prema bhakti. So through the stage, through that's where the raganuga bhakti comes into play to get that prema. So dear devotees, with this we will conclude today's verse, because I really have to get back to the material responsibilities that I have been given. So thank you, dear devotees, for your time today. Vanchakalpatarupyasya kripasantubhye vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrind ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and the spiritual master. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. We'll let you go. Thank you very much for giving your precious time and joining even for a few minutes. We've learned a lot today. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, dear devotees. See you all next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Are there any questions or comments for Mataji? We can post it to her and she can take it next time. I think the gist of today was to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, as Keshav Maharaj says. So even if you are uncomfortable, the more penance we do, the more dear we'll be to the Lord. And I'm advising this to myself as well. So it's not to you all. But otherwise, I think it was an excellent session. We can end the session for today. Hare Krishna, Bhakta Mugo.